Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, August 11th, and I haven't been counting the days. What are we at, 10 or 11? Day 10 or 11, somewhere in there in Big Brother 25. We just had our first actual eviction last night because, yes, indeed, they did decide to go through with the eviction after removing Luke. So we are down to 15 house guests already, with 90 days to go. For reference, Big Brother last season was 82 days, I think. So they started with 16. Of course, they were down to 14. No, they canceled the eviction. Sorry. They were still at 15 at this point. So they were at 15 with 82 days. We are at 15 with over 90 days to go. They just got to figure out how to make up that time unless they're going to add another house guest, which it doesn't seem like they're going to add another house guest. At least they haven't yet. I do not know if the memory wall is updated now. We kept thinking that maybe they were going to wait until they had eliminated one house guest to get it to a nice even 16. I haven't seen this morning if the memory wall is updated. I'll have to check it out and let you guys know, because that will be a bit telling, because I think we kept thinking that maybe that was a sign they were going to bring in another house guest since they hadn't locked in the memory wall. So last night's show, I'm going to get to the other stuff. I will get to the head of household, targets, all that kind of stuff, because we do know who the new head of household is, but let me make you dangle in suspense for just a few minutes more. Last night's show, they handled the Luke situation, I guess, as best they could. They kept it rather low-key. They just showed what happened. There's lots of video out there on the Twitterverse. I have tweeted links to two different versions of the video, two different camera angles. I've had people asking me, where's the video? What time was this at? I don't even know the time right now, as a matter of fact. I've never looked. I've only watched the videos that were online because they show exactly what you would see if you were to scroll into the timeline. So if you check my timeline, now, of course, now you're going to have to wade through all of last night's tweets. But if you check my timeline and go back, you will find a couple of links to a couple of tweets about the incident with links to the video, and you can watch it and see it with unedited, without the bleeps, without the edits that CBS did. And you'll see that he said the word. He seemed sheepish. I don't know. I've already talked about this enough, actually. It is what it is. They obviously, on the show last night, they showed he was removed in the morning on Wednesday. And then they had a group sit down where Riley read to them a card saying that he'd been removed, and then Corey and Jared talked about it. I guess Heisem said he didn't hear him say it. Now, there's some people are saying he shouldn't have said I didn't hear it. It's a whole. I mean, it's like he has hearing issues as well, just like Matt does. It's obviously not as severe, but he has hearing problems in one ear. He said he didn't hear it. I don't think he was doing it to plead ignorance. I just think he was just saying I didn't hear it, and I think that's all it was said, was just like that. But everyone is, everything is just hyper magnified in the house by the fans, and so that was a bad thing. Just like I'll talk about something else on the show. So, anyways, in the end, they talked about it, and then they moved right on, and they got on with the eviction. Kirsten was evicted 13-0. The only thing that happened during the voting was Matt, who, remember, he doesn't, what is it, hard, I can't say hard of hearing, I can't remember what I can say now, I'm sorry, and I was corrected the last time we talked about this, so I apologize that it was a week ago, and it's the exact wording, the proper wording has slipped my mind, and you don't need to correct me again, I'll just keep muffing it up no matter what, but my point is, it did not appear that he heard Julie's instructions that implied, we're done, you can go. And so he sat there awkwardly for 3 or 4 seconds, and then she finally just said, thank you, Matt, again, and then he got up and left. And there's a group in the internet that are mad at the way that all went down. I get it. It looked awkward. It called out Matt's hearing status, and I don't know. It was unfortunate. It wasn't intentional. But someone was tweeting on a comment that I made that CBS needs to issue a public apology. I don't think it was that. I don't think anyone thought that negatively about it, and they've tried to address it, and I'm sure they'll address it some more about his hearing status. And so I don't know. I get it. People are very passionate about things, but on the other hand, demanding that kind of an apology for this is, to me, a bit to the other extreme. So anyways, they moved on. Kirsten was evicted. She talked to Julie. Julie told Kirsten about Suri, there we go, Suri and Jared. So we don't think she's coming back. Also, the couple of reporters that are regular Big Brother fans that are tweeting all the time, Shannon and Mike, both said that they were alerted that the interview with Kirsten won't be done until next week. So that's kind of odd, because I don't know. Are they going to keep Kirsten around for a week and then let her go home? Or are they going to send her home and say, you just can't talk to the press for a week? Not sure what's going on there. It could just be that they want a week for this whole Luke thing to quiet down and go, get backburnered, and then they can move on. And then they'll have her talk to the press. I'm not sure. I don't think she's coming back, just as I said, because they told Jared, they revealed Jared's status to Jared and Suri's status. I'm so overthinking her name. So anyways, that's that. One other thing that I have seen reported online, I cannot verify it for myself, but I've seen it said enough that I think it's probably slightly accurate, is that Luke is out of the house. Luke is on his own again now, and I think he's on Instagram. I don't do Instagram. I mean, I have it, but I don't ever use it. But I guess Luke's on Instagram, and he's saying a couple of things that are kind of making light of the situation, and it's just not a good look. He's going to fall into that class that Daniel found himself last year, where, Daniel was pretty negative about stuff, and he said some things, and rather than apologizing, he decided to, dig into it deeper, to push back, and he's been that way ever since. And Daniel has got lots of there's a lot of people on the internet that do not like Daniel, and he is, I don't follow him, so I don't see his stuff, but every once in a while I get wind of it, and I hate to say it, but Luke may be deciding that that's the way he's going to go too, rather than saying I made a mistake and I'm sorry and all of this stuff. He's choosing to go with the I'm going to be a jerk about this stuff. So, but you know what? I don't talk about that stuff generally, so let's move right along and not worry about stuff that's happening outside the house. The house guests then were disappeared, right? Julie went back and they were all gone. Okay, so let's peel that back a little bit. First of all, I didn't look at the actual. I should go back and review the actual video, but who's to say that video was live, right? They could have been. That could have been pre-recorded video from any time in the past 24 hours when they had the house guests all locked down in their room. Because if they're all locked down in the head of household, which they are during the days on Thursday while they prep the house, they could have just said, all right, get some shots. And they could have taken a nighttime shot of the backyard at any time. So all those empty room shots, don't try to read too much into it. They could have been in the house, or they could have already been in a room sequestered. There's all kinds of reasons. It was just done for silly, dramatic purposes. And they showed what everyone would call a portal in the backyard glowing, and then it winked out, which is to imply that the house guests had all gone somewhere. And, whoa, we're dealing with some traffic here. A lot of cars, 5-way intersection, and a lot of people wanted to go first. So the implication was the house guests went off somewhere to the scary verse, right? Okay, whatever. So the feeds were down. They only came back at about, I want to say, maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but I know at least it was about 4 hours ago. I mean, it was probably, I got to do my math here, probably between 3 and 4 a.m. In Eastern time is when they came back, which is only midnight, midnight to 1 a.m. in the Big Brother house. So, whatever. And he came back. I do not know the nature of it. Doesn't sound like anything. It doesn't sound like it was some amazingly strange world and all kinds of weird things happened. The only weird thing that happened is that Jared is supposedly now in the nether world or nether region. Nether region. And we don't know for how long, and we don't know why, but if you remember, Corey said the next person won't be so easy to get back. So maybe he's gone for a day. Maybe he'll come back later today. Maybe he's free from nominations and he'll come back after nominations, and it doesn't matter because the winner of the head of household competition was Hisam, and Hisam isn't going to nominate Jared. So Hisam is the head of household. Jared is missing in action. And that's what we know. Now, Hisam is part of the professors. He's part of the old crew. And his intentions, he said that his targets are Riley, Cameron, and Matt. He's got his reasons. I think Riley at one point said she'd target Hisam, and so that's probably why he's going after her. But it is what it is, and it's way too early in the game and in this round to figure out where things are going to fall. Will Riley get voted out if she gets nominated? I don't know, maybe, possibly. Will she be able to save herself with the power of veto? She's been a very strong competitor, so that could happen. I have a feeling that Hisam's going to get what we like to call some HoH-itis, where their head gets big. He's fairly opinionated. He's fairly. I was kind of interested last night when I was watching the show, in that they painted Hisam as being a very warm, caring, putting out the olive branch, thinking nice, being just a nice, really super nice guy. I'm not saying he's not a nice person, by the way, mind you. This is in the context of the Big Brother house and playing the Big Brother game. But he got a good at it last night. I've seen lots of times where Hisam comes across as pretty petty. Pretty petty when it comes to Big Brother. And so that to me leads me to think that, he's going to have some opinions. He's going to be quite full of himself. I could be wrong. It'll be interesting to see how this week goes. By week, I mean the next 3 days, because after that it's kind of done with. But you're still head of household until next Thursday. So as far as we know. Also, coming back from the this morning, there was no talk of an additional head of household or additional house guest. So we didn't hear anything about another house guest. And I do want to see if the memory wall is up. I wish I'd seen that. I'm not going to look right now. You guys just have to wait and watch for me to tweet about it. But I don't know. That would be the one thing that would make me think that maybe they're bringing somebody in. But remember, in Big Brother USA, they never bring people in late, very late. After the first day or so. And those people are going to stand zero chance of winning, because the house will be completely against them. They are outsiders. They are what they call in other shows, other Big Brother seasons or versions across the world. They call them intruders. And it's very hard for an intruder to come in, miss the beginning, miss all that bonding, and do well. Especially in a game where the house votes the people out, not the public. All right, so that's where things stand. Hisam has had a household. Don't know anything about have-nots. Again, that's a matter of going back and seeing if they keep the same, who sleeps upstairs. If when I get a chance to check out the feeds, or if I see it, there may have been have-nots decided already. It could be depending on who's sleeping in that upstairs bedroom, which is where the have-not room is, or the same people could still be sleeping in it until the new have-nots are named. But as of right now, there aren't enough beds downstairs to accommodate the people. But they may be sharing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think I've talked enough. I think we'll see what happens. I guess we can be assured of waterworks from Riley, because she's going to be upset and crying and nervous. And we'll see how many people are willing to comfort her now that she isn't had a household, right? Should be interesting. Yeah, that's all I got. So with that, I will wish you a happy Friday. I will think good thoughts and hope it's a good weekend for everyone. Here we go. We're into the time. This time of year in Big Brother, things are usually starting to get close to wrapping up. We're not close to wrapping up. We're in early August. This is when things have just settled down, right? We're halfway through the season normally, and for me, I got a wedding this weekend. So my Saturday is going to be completely taken up with that. Hopefully not a whole lot of me going on. I will be checking in and paying attention, but it is the nature of real life that it's hard to have a normal life and watch Big Brother, right? So I will be doing that on Saturday. Got something going on tonight. So all kinds of stuff going on. With that, though, I am going to sign off. Wish you guys well. Thank you to my patrons. One more plug. If you would like to support me and be a patron, you are more than encouraged and welcome to. You can go to BB Gossip. You can go to Patreon, patreon.com/BB Gossip, and join. There's a monthly little. You set the amount you want, and it's just once a month. Last thing, actually, I have gotten a couple alerts for people leaving comments like on Spotify. I do get an email announcing there was a comment on Spotify to my thing. The person was asking who was Luke. And first of all, thank you for taking the time to actually figure out how to ask the question. The best way to ask me kind of questions like that would be to send me an email. ilovereality@gmail.com. But I understand that some people don't want to hassle with it, or even care to give me their email. So that's all good. But I did see the question. Obviously, there's no real way for me to answer that on the Spotify comment page, and so I read it and thought, well, I'll address it the next time I remember it, which was today. By now, you probably know who Luke was, but the answer was actually the little picture that I uploaded for that episode was actually a picture of Luke, so that would have been a helpful too. But I'll try to be a little bit more clarified on some of my things if I think that there's a question of who somebody is. But hopefully you're all getting to know the names and faces by now as well. All right, and with that, now I am out of here. Talk to you guys later. Have a good Friday and a good weekend if I don't talk to you until Monday. Bye-bye.